Welcome back. For the Mofo Valkyrie build, this is going to be a little bit of tuning. This is coming from just a few things I've seen while driving it, a few things I've noticed could use a little tweaking. And the first is I get quite a bit of squat on the rear. I don't have a lot of weight. I do have soft shocks in the back, so I may switch those, but I've left them soft because I don't really have any weight on the axles, minus the links. The wheels are unweighted. I mean, they have a little weight, but they're unweighted. So to help with that squat, I've got this 3D printed link riser diff mount from Mofo Rc with one option there for the riser. Now, I've used one from Shapeways before on a couple of builds. It has multiple options for the links, and it's not integrated into the diff cover, which is nice. So if you want to use brass. However, this one, since I'm keeping the rear fairly light, I still have a plastic diff cover. So I'll just swap that on. I'm not losing any brass that I need. And then to add a little weight stability to the wheels on the axle, I've got these Treal axle weights that I've taken off another build a while back, and so I can add those to get a little more planted feel to the wheels. So that should help. To balance this added weight, I'm going to swap out the aluminum hot racing links for these new Mofo RC brass steering links. They're really nice. And then the same with the tray. I've got currently an aluminum Mofo RC servo mount, so I'm going to swap that for this brass one. So hopefully keep us at I think we were at a 58-42 ratio. And then the last thing, I've got +4 rear axles, because another thing that will help stability is a little width. And I'm also very close to these shocks. I don't hit, but I'm really close with these wide tires. So stretching that out will help give me a little more flex, give me a little more stability. I was going to do it all the way around, but looking at the front, there's really nowhere to go. You don't want to push out or you'll be in the body. And these tuck in nicely, so I used the +4s, the fronts on another build, so that worked out all right. So these little parts here hopefully will tune this guy up just a little bit better for climbing, and then we'll weigh it in and see if I kept my ratio, and we'll see how that looks with the wide rear. Hopefully that won't kill the steering, but here we go. Alright, got this rear end wrapped up here. Thought I'd show you before I get the wheels on kind of how this works. So the diff cover link riser went on perfectly smooth, no fitment issues. He gives you all silver hardware, so I swapped it out for black, but very nice. I put a little grease in there, and then I got my Treal weights on there, and those just barely clear the shock mounts, and that's because these shocks are pushed out because I've got the flex blades, you can see there, but you can see once the screw is tightened down, it just slides past perfectly on both sides. As you're tightening the screw, you can, you feel it rubbing the shock screw until you pass it, but there's no binding. And then with the riser, I don't get into the motor. Those upper links are still clear of everything. So it looks like the whole rear end here is functioning as intended. So I think I'll get the rear wheels on and jump over here to this front end. Quick pro tip here. While I have all my tires off, I usually wash them up with some dish soap and water. So that's what you do if you want to rejuvenate the stickiness on your tires. Just clean them. And my first little fitment issue here I encountered with the brass servo tray. So I'm assuming again it's due to the black coating on the brass, but the slot there down the center is too narrow, and it wouldn't fit over the actual plastic ears on each side of the housing. So I've got the Treal loosened out, and that's not the problem. It's the plastic ears that go in that center slot. So I've taken an X-Acto and shaved a little off of each side to thin those a little bit. Just a hair, and good reason to use plastic parts. You can easily shave things off and modify. So anyways, I've got it now. It actually slots on there, but I just wanted to say a little heads up that if you get that brass, at least this first run, there's a little tolerance issue with that slot, so you're gonna have to, it may not fit a metal axle, I don't know. You gotta modify the plastic one, at least I did. All right, it's that time again. Let's see where we landed. So we'll say 462, 463 grams, 56.44. So we lost 2% to the rear. We were 58.42. I can't remember our total weight. I'll have to put that on the screen. Let me flip over to ounces. So we are 16.3 ounces. Alrighty, so that's good to know. So now it's time to drive it, see how this thing performs. But let me get it off the scale. I'm liking that wide rear axle. Kind of gives you the dually look without being a dually. So one thing I did was remesh my motor and my spur gear, and I noticed my pinion gear grub had come loose, so I quieted it down quite a bit. I think all the high-speed drifting took a toll on it. So I kind of reset up the Lizard for low-speed crawling and tuned it a little bit. So now, only thing left is to get it out in the real world and give it a little crawl test, see if it's a little more stable in the rear and can climb a little bit better without so much squat. Definitely got some torque, that's for sure, as well as speed. I mean, it keeps pushing through. Let me know what you think in the comments, and thanks for watching. And there possibly could be more on this truck. We'll just see. Hopefully a running video soon.